Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Tammy Nation. Hey, Becky, it is really good to see you as well. I have not been on in over a month. Christmas Day was my last day on due to the holidays and stuff. I just wanted to take some time off after doing 25 days straight. I also have a new background and stuff like that. I moved my office around. Plus, I wanted to see what was going to happen with 2025 with the election and with all the different things that Trump was going to do or put in place. And so I want to cover some of those things today. But welcome back, everybody. It's been a great time off. There's been so much going on. I know you guys know that and are well aware of that because even working in the business that some of these people are trying to stay by Trump's side or the press trying to keep up with what this administration is doing, it has been hard for them to even do it because he just hit the pavement with things right away. So I guess I'm going to start a little bit at the beginning in my feelings and emotions about the inauguration and all that kind of stuff, and just carry on to the different orders, the EOs he's been putting in place and stuff. I've been watching him today. I know he was in North Carolina. I did watch that, talking to the people there. Hey, Tony, good to see you too. Thanks for being patient with me while I took some time off. He's also headed to LA now with to deal with the fires and see what he can do to help. And I did see that Gavin Newsom is actually saying that there is no such thing as a bunch of water and a tap that you can turn on to be able to produce water in California to eliminate these fires. So he's totally contradicting everything that Trump is saying. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And it is good to be back and see everybody again. Like I said, we've also been in a deep freeze here in Georgia. Everything was shut down. And I know it seems silly. I'm from the north anyways. I'm used to ice and snow, but I found the differences here in Georgia. When it snows, it actually, the way the temperature is, it turns into black ice. So basically, it's like ice skating through the city, and they actually shut roads down. They closed things. We've been dealing with that on and off. And then we had a little more snow. We still had freeways, highways closed last night that reopened this morning because at night it freezes. And then we've got another one coming. So we might be barreled in for a little while again. But yeah, in the South here, when we get snow, it just turns to ice. I know that Florida, it was incredible to see all the snow on the beach. I've never seen anything like that with the videos put out. But the good news is, too, with TikTok, with Trump saving TikTok temporarily till they can get a deal. It's amazing how much you can see live raw video from people when events are happening on TikTok. So, I mean, I'm glad that he saved that for now. I do understand that you have to, what he says, he wants to keep TikTok. He wants the United States to get 50% of the profits. And I agree with him. Foreign country making millions and billions off of us and us not getting anything out of it is not fair. And that's what I've seen so far in the Trump administration. Like him or not, I've seen him put America first. And it's been such a very long time since we've felt that or seen that. It's been a long time coming and it's been feeling good. So as we start with the inauguration, I hope that you guys got to check some of it out. I got emotional because I got very optimistic and hopeful. And when you see the spirit of America, when it's people like you and me that get excited about the inauguration and our president and the cabinet that he's choosing, it seemed like there was light and hope in the air. His family looked beautiful. To me, it brought elegance, grace, class back to the White House. Seeing him aboard Air Force One for the first time and entering the White House again for the first time made me emotional. And it is hope for the country. It's not about one person. And I think that's what a lot of people think and try to tear us down, that they think that we are just pushing up President Trump. It's not just him. It's the people around him. It's the military. It's the police. It's the everyday people like you and me that just want our lives back. We want to be able to live free. We want to have freedom of speech. Hallelujah. He signed an EO about freedom of speech. That should have never been suppressed. And we all know that. So as we're moving forward, I mean, he's only, 4 days in, and there's been a ton going on with him. A ton of EOs, a lot of good things. And it's just been, to me, a beautiful, wonderful time. Things are going well. I know that Elon's involved in a lot of things, and people have mixed emotions about Elon because of what he represents and stands for as far as AI and robotics and things like that. And I know that can be scary. There are different views about that. But we have to wait and see. I don't want to go ahead and move forward in 2025 pessimistic. I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic. And there are a lot of things that we all thought was going to happen that never happened. There are a lot of people we thought that were going to be brought to the light that were where we were told that we're really not gone, but will come back. They didn't come back. So there's a lot of truths, half truths, twisted truths out there. We've seen for the last 4 or 5 years all the bad things that have been brought to light with people that have taken advantage of those of us who wanted to have answers, who were trying to find answers, who became rich and famous off it and kind of almost disappeared off the charts now. We've been taken advantage of emotionally, mentally, physically, and financially. So I'm hoping that with Trump being in charge again and this great administration that he's putting together and they all get confirmed, that we're going to be moving forward. It was a long day with Inauguration Day with all the different things that happened. I thought it was a beautiful ceremony inside of the Capitol. I think it was the right thing to do. I actually got an invite to the inauguration, and I know a lot of people did. It's not like I'm anything special or anything. Hey, D-Dog, good to see you. But I did get an invite, and I thought about going, but then I thought, you know what? The more that I saw the blocking off of that area, the weather, etc. I'm so glad I didn't go because it was a lot. I did have a couple acquaintances that did go and attend, so I'm waiting to hear back from them and how it went. I know that it was a lot. It was very cold, and Jack Posobiec and Charlie Kirk and them all created a venue or found a venue for people to go in and be able to watch it live on a big, video screen, which was amazing. They just didn't leave people out because they knew that people spent a lot of time, effort, and money to go and see this inauguration. It was like a once in a lifetime type thing, right? So they did come through for the American people for that. So I thought that was really good. Now, the firework display that was at the golf course in Virginia was phenomenal. If you guys did not catch that, that night when the fireworks went off and him and Melania were on the balcony, you have to see it. I've never seen fireworks like that. They were absolutely beautiful. They were incredible. They were powerful. It was just a beautiful, beautiful evening. I did love too how Trump brought the Village People out to sing YMCA Live on the stage at the inauguration as well that evening. I just think that was it was just wonderful to see people dancing, to see people dressed up and just having a good time and enjoying the moment, because it really was a long time coming. And I know that a lot of us waited for such a very long time for this actual day. So I just really sat back. I actually stayed in my pajamas a lot outside of work, and I just absorbed everything about it. And I tried not being pessimistic or trying to think about anything, but enjoying what this is going to bring for this country coming down the road. A lot of emotions are still out there. A lot of people, not really sure about the partnerships that he's been taking up with, but we have to give him time. We have to have patience and grace for this. I like what's going on so far, what I see, how the average person, you and me, are being put in the forefront again, and, the EOs that he's putting in order. Now, let's go ahead and go to the drone aspect. I know that I told you guys before I went off the air before Christmas that I encountered drones outside of my yard. I saw 10 of them. Well, I did see them again, like probably a few days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. And this time they were in a different pattern. They were the same drones. They were in a different pattern. It's like where I saw them this time, instead of them flying back and forth and over me, they were being launched from somewhere, and they were all in a line, and then they went behind my house and went straight till they disappeared. So it's like wherever they launched from, they did have a destination they were going to, and they went to that location, and I watched them till they disappeared. I went out again to see if I could see him again. I didn't see him anymore. And my neighbor, who is an ex-military, did report it to our mayor and the police, because we're trying to get to the bottom of it and get some kind of explanation of how come people are seeing these and they're not just high school drones, or certain private groups having these drones, flying them around. Where I live, it is the Atlanta airport. The major communication is just for the airport. It's actually down the road from me, probably about 10 minutes straight down the road. They were not over air traffic control. They were over neighborhoods, houses, general areas. We didn't have military bases here. So my point is, they were just flying over neighborhoods. And to me, it was like they were mapping things out. Whatever they were mapping out, I don't know. I've heard rumors that they were sniffing out different gases or different kind of nuclear things that might have been planted around on train systems, underground, through pipelines. None of us have answers that I know of. And I know that Trump did say that he was going to find out what they were and to get to the bottom of it, to be able to tell us what was going on with the drones. I do know that out west, some friends of mine saw them out west recently as well, in their area, their state. And like I said, I've only seen them here twice, but it's not like I look out every day. I just know that whatever it is, it doesn't make me real comfortable. I didn't feel really threatened by them, but it's just like, what are they? And, it's like we have a right to know. So I'm hoping that Trump will come out with that pretty soon as well. It's not that he hasn't been busy putting out a million different things already, but it's been crazy so far. So I think Trump looks great. I think that it is great to see him do just pressers. When he had the first night that he went back to the White House and he was signing EOs, when he did it on stage, actually at the arena, and started the first set of EOs and had that desk right in front of the people signing those, I thought that was an amazing moment as well. I love that he threw the pens to the people. It's like he was giving the power back to the people, pens to the people. It wasn't just a bunch of suit coats and who's who of the world that was there when he was signing the executive orders. It was people like you and me. And I thought that was a very powerful moment as well. Then when he went back to the Oval Office for the first time, started signing the EOs, if you guys saw it. I mean, he's sitting there signing EOs. The guy's telling them what they are. And there's press out there just right in front of him, asking him a million questions. And he's just shooting out the answers. It has been so long since we've had anybody in authority that has been able to speak off the cuff like that, and be able to answer questions like that and just not be prescripted or mumbling their way or stumbling their way or cackling their way through a presser or through information. It was just so refreshing to me to see that again. Very powerful, I just think. I know that he said that there's like 200 executive orders he will be signing within the first week or so. He's well underway to that. I am surprised by this, about how important Mars seems to be, not just to Elon, but to Trump, when he said the other day at a presser that we will be planting a flag in Mars. That just seems so surreal to me, talking about all the space age stuff and aliens and UFOs and UAPs and going to Mars. And so that kind of blew me away. And in the presser the other day, there's the man named Massa, who is the CEO of SoftBank. He dedicated in front of everybody in the presser $500 billion towards the United States of America over at least the first 4 years that Trump is president, to bring us into what they keep calling the golden age of America, to bring all the AI and businesses and space businesses here to the United States of America. They think that that is very important, and Trump wants to be the leader over China with all this artificial intelligence, super intelligence. And I found that pretty astounding, because when I first saw the first presser with this Massa man, who is the CEO of SoftBank, it was funny because he came up to the podium and it said, I'm going to donate $200 billion to America. And Trump was like, why don't you make it a little more? Well, then when he came back, he said $500 billion. So, I mean, he's getting things done. Trump's administration has already accrued $3 trillion back into the United States of America with all these different deals that he's done. And yeah, Tony, it is like Star Trek, because I've never heard so much talk about aliens, spaceships, Space Force, Mars, all this different stuff. You know, everybody was considered that conspiracy word, or we've dealt with aliens. I remember growing up and my father obsessed with aliens and watching all these alien shows. And now it's right there in our faces. We have the government that's come out and said there are aliens that exist, that they hid it from us. We have the whole thing about the aliens being in the water, coming out and having, you know, different bases in the water. And if you didn't see this, Matt Gaetz, who now has his own show, he interviewed Tim Burchett from Tennessee regarding aliens and spaceships. And he said, yeah, he believes that they are here, that they've been here, that there are bases underwater and whatever. Now, you guys can laugh it off, whatever you want, but I just find it fascinating that when they first came out with this, nobody cared. Nobody seemed to care. All of a sudden, nobody cared about the aliens. The government was having all these hearings, and pilots and ex-military were talking about the aliens, and nobody really cared about it. So here we are dealing with drones, and we have all these different assumptions of where these drones come from, what they are, what are they doing, and then we have aliens over here, and it's crazy. It's almost mind-blowing. It does feel like we are in Star Trek or the Twilight Zone. It just seems crazy to me, but here we are. But once again, we have to remember that they are pushing forth, wanting to be the leaders on the forefront to beat China with this AI intelligence and all this stuff. Now, people are having problems with Elon because they say that Elon is owned by China, that China has loaned him all this money for Space Force, and that if he were to make them angry and pull out, they would pull out and he wouldn't have very much money or be able to continue with Space Force. That is one concept people are saying. I don't know about that. But then supposedly he's in to be dealing with TikTok, maybe buying that as well, because I know Trump and one other person were going to buy it. And now it's supposedly Elon, but we haven't heard any more about that. But you know, you have to trust. You have to trust something, some way, because we don't trust anything. And you have to give it time to ferment and find out what's actually going on. You can't shut yourself off. What I've learned in the last few years is you have to look at both sides, see what both sides have to say. You know, it's not always true. Just one side is always true. We've been betrayed by a lot of people. We've been lied to over a lot of things. The other part that when we talk about this AI and intelligence coming, it is in rapid pace. It's almost like that was years down the road. And here we are. Elon's got these robots that he's sending to these rich people to test them to see how they work as like housekeepers, partners, doing duties, babysitting, whatever it is, seems totally crazy to me. But the other aspect of this, which I'm not real thrilled about, there's a man that is a specialist with vaccines and DNA and all this stuff. He came out at the podium, at the presser, and was saying that they can cure the C word through AI with a simple blood test. All they have to do is get the gene sequence together and then design a vaccine specified for each individual person. So he was putting out there that we have so many advancements with technology and AI, DNA, mRNA, that we are able within 48 hours to be able to diagnose somebody with that C word, personalize the vaccine within 48 hours, and be able to cure it. And I'll tell you, a lot of people, including myself, are gun shy with that because we just went through the hell that we went through for 4 or 5 years with mRNAs. And we saw the 500-page data report from the Oversight Committee on what that vaccine did to people. So for him to come out and say that, that was kind of disturbing to me. I get trying to be optimistic. Who doesn't want to cure all these diseases? But my question is, you guys, when you think about it, all these wonderful things that are supposedly coming through that can cure us, how about spending time, effort, and money on preventing it in the first place? How about, yeah, D-Dog, I believe that with natural remedies. They've kept natural remedies outside of the normal for many, many years. Why? Because there's billions and trillions of dollars to be made in the medical industry, pharmacies and whatnot with the medications. But my thing is, that just flicked a light on in my head. I'm like, why aren't they preventing it in the first place? Instead of trying to come up with a cure, prevent the disease in the first place. What exactly is causing us to actually get this? A good start is to make our food healthier and better, like, RFK Jr. is doing. I know that the red dye, he's already got a policy out to get that out. They're pulling Little Debbie snacks and stuff off the shelves because they're supposedly have all this red dye in them that's poisonous to us. But we've gotten so far away from being healthy in the way that we eat and everything, and what the government has allowed to be put into our foods. It's not even really food anymore. So if we get back to that, and like D-Dog says, natural remedies, that's a good start. That seems like common sense. But you step back and you say, well, why do these people want us not to be healthy? They make a lot more money to keep us sick than us to be healthy. And the FDA, number one cause of poor health. FDA, yes. FDA food, that should be out. That shouldn't even be around. We'll see what Trump does with that and all these regulations, and what Robert Kennedy Jr. does about all that kind of stuff. But the promise of curing people who are sick and ill already is wonderful. I agree with that. But like I said, let's prevent it in the first place by studying what causes the different things. You look at the flu. The flu has been around since the day has been born, right? How come every time a certain time of year comes, people get the flu shots, but then they tell you, guess what? There's so many different strains. We can't guarantee the shots that we give you will cover the strains that are out there. And for a while, I did get flu shots. My job, I had to get flu shots back in the day. I don't anymore. It's personal choice. And that's another thing we have to remember. After all we've learned with that 500-page document with COVID and the results of the vaccine and stuff, and all the promises that were made, and all the mandates that were in place, and how wrong, egregious they were, it's crazy. So we have to remember that what we learned from all of that is people should have freedom of choice what they do with their bodies health-wise like that. There should never be a mandate. I know the whole bird flu thing's going around now. Here in Georgia, they have another case of poultry that was affected by it. So they've stopped the buying, selling, and trading of poultry here in Georgia. Like I said, we should be able to deal with our own medical issues and make the choices. Never again should we incur and endure and put up with what we put up with 4 years ago. Incredibly crazy, 4.5 years ago. So, also the golden age of America, people are tearing that apart too. They're tearing apart what that actually means. Some are saying it's good, some are thinking it's hopeful and happy, and others are pulling from the archaic days and they go to the biblical part of it, saying that it is not good, that it's ushering in all this bad stuff. People are going to jump on everything from all sides, and I totally understand that. But we need some breathing space. We need some space to be able to enjoy, decompress, and have a little bit of optimism, for a little while here. It's just, it's been such a rough road. And I think that if there's a reason that Trump and his administration wants to procure AI and stuff, if it's going to be happening, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I guess I'd much rather our country be at the head of it and understand what's going on to be able to control it a little bit. And if somebody's going to use it for the bad, that we can counter that because we have the intelligence and the knowledge and the technology to be able to counter that. Everything doesn't have to be all bad or all good. We've learned that. There's different things that go on in this world that we think is good and end up bad. They tell us they're bad and then they end up being good. So we have to just be very careful, I think, and not shut it down and say, Trump is the bad guy because look what he's doing already with Elon. We don't know for sure what that is yet. And I know there's been a lot of backlash with that already. It does give me pause and hesitation. Actually, Elon just came out the other day, I think it was yesterday, and did an interview that said with Neuralink, he believes that it's possible to be able to reverse paralyzation in people and, you know, heal you fully. Let's just say that 100% to be able to heal you and make you be able to be fully functional again. And that is an amazing, incredible thing. But then I know that people are concerned about how much do you do before you're interfering with things that shouldn't happen. Hey, Kim Ellen, good to see you. Hello, hello. So there's just a lot for us to process, I guess what I'm saying, you guys. There's just so much going on that I think it's really good to take it in, but look at it with a bigger picture. Don't be so narrow-minded about things, because if you trust in God and you trust that he's in control and you trust in the good, I think a lot of our answers, our prayers were answered with everything that's happening now. We've been wanting that. It's like we want to breathe a sigh of relief and say, thank goodness that we feel some hope and optimism here. And let's not start tearing everything apart and dissecting it right away and getting ourselves into that place of despair and stuff and dread again. Also, one of the EOs that Trump signed, which to me was wonderful, is he has the deal done about death penalties for anyone sending fentanyl to the US or bringing it in. He's designated all these different cartels and anybody that brings fentanyl or anything in as terrorist groups. I think that's amazing, 100%. All the different illegals that they are already deporting has been amazing, because they've got over 500 that have been terrible, terrible people that have done horrible things, criminals, and they've already rounded them up. And I was so happy to see, just before I went on, the Marines are there now along the border, and they've brought some serious, serious equipment, weaponry, those plane things that they got two like propellers on the side and they go up. They almost look like a big drone plane. It's just been amazing to see that at the border, to see our military, our Marines pull in there. It's like hallelujah. I saw that they put up buoys across the Rio Grande, these big orange buoys to prevent people from swimming through. Now, I've heard that there's netting underneath and the buoys are anchored to the bottom, so that way people can't climb underneath. And these are so big and heavy and the current's so fast, they say people can't really climb over. And that because the Rio Grande moves so quickly that the buoys swing around. And if you get hit by one of those, you can get like knocked over or knocked out because they're so heavy and big. So basically it's not 100%, but it is a huge deterrent for people to even try to cross putting those in. And I watched them put those in the other day, and it was so amazing. I'm like, yes, we're seeing movement. We have to remember that the left is already coming out showing pictures and videos of people crying, saying they're separated from their kids. And oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Listen, they're trying to pull on your heartstrings to make you feel bad. You got to remember, these are not, and we've been hearing it for a long time, happy little families that have been coming in here trying to escape whatever it is they're trying to escape from the country they come from. These are criminals. These were people, the majority of them, that were men, fighting age men, that were bringing in children. A lot of children are missing. And if you notice, they've been having crackdowns on that, finding these different children. There was from Canton, Ohio, they just found some kids before I went on, from 500 of them, I think, from somewhere that were missing. They found them. So ICE is out there. ICE is going door to door, Boston, Chicago, and it is a felony. It is against the law if you harboring or hiding any of these illegals. And that's amazing to see uniformed people out there not being disrespected, spit on, shot at, paint thrown at them, but being respected because they've got the president and the United States of America behind them to go and get these people out of here that are bad for us, that have been hurting our people. The Leyland Riley Act has passed 100%. We don't forget, we lost a lot of people due to what happened. A lot of finances. It put a strain on us mentally, physically, financially. People lost family members due to the crimes that were put upon them from these illegals, and it's time to get out. We don't get to go anywhere and just get free stuff in any country. Everybody wants to come here because it's supposed to be the land of the free, a good place for prosperity. If you do it the right way, 100%. You do it the wrong way, it's an insult to the people of your country that did it the right way. It's an insult to us, and a lot of the bad people are going to come more than the good people. The bad people are like, hey, guess what? I'm out of jail, let out of jail in Venezuela. I'm let out of jail here. I'm going to go to the US and I'm going to cause some problems. And we've seen a lot of problems. We saw people set on fire. We've seen people shot. We've seen horrific things go on mass transit in New York and stuff. That's not America. That's not what we're supposed to do at all. Iceland, that's it, Kim Mellon. They found some there too. And, you know, a lot of people were saying, guess what? This missing children and all this isn't as bad as we make it out to be. And guess what? We've seen that it truly is. These poor children, they're the innocents that we can never forget about. And that is the fire in our bellies that keeps us from giving up, frees us from not letting it ever happen again, that we have that fire in our bellies to get this done. This money that is being spent to do this is money well spent. I'm all about spending our money to do this. I'm all about spending our money, keeping it here for the veterans, for the homeless. I've said that for years, and I know a lot of you think the same way. Not putting it out there to Ukraine. Did you guys see that Zelensky was out there at Davos and saying, guess what? You need to send more money, and I want at least 200,000 more troops to start, 200,000 troops to help me defend against Russia. I want that, and I want more money. What kind of idiocy is that he comes after the billions that he's got from us and saying he needs that? No, how about no war? And if you didn't see, Vladimir Putin has already come out saying he wants to talk with Trump, that he wants to settle this war. He doesn't want it anymore. And I saw just today, he said, this is his exact words, if 2020 was not stolen from President Trump, more than likely the Ukraine-Russia problems wouldn't have started. So it's not just Trump saying it, Putin said it too. So I think it's just crazy. So you have to pull back that lens of Trump is an egomaniac. Trump is this. Trump is bad. It's not just Trump. It's the people that support him. It's the people that respect him. You know, how about when this was great at the inauguration the other day, when they showed the military and they were in Korea, and he goes, how's Kim Jong-un? And they all started laughing. So it was just the different stuff that he does. I mean, I think that you have to have so many guts. And this time around, guys, don't forget, hey, Redhausen, good to see you. Don't forget, Trump is experienced now. Trump has been through this. Trump knows what to do. Trump is not as naive the first time around. And think about what they did to him and his family. You look at Melania. Melania, I'm telling you, looked great at the inauguration. Melania looked great today in North Carolina and going by his side. That woman has class and elegance. Thank the Lord. That woman brought class and distinction back to that White House. And if you're a woman, you can't tell me that you can appreciate some of these women out there. Women have had a bad look for a very long time in politics, the last few years or so. Even in a lot of the celebrities and stuff, bad look, bad women. You know, class is back, intelligence is back, intelligence good. You look at some of these people that Trump has in his administration, like Pam Bondi, amazing. It's just, like I said, it's respect back in that White House again. ICE being back 100%. Trump's not messing around this time, you guys. Whether you like it or not, you think it's aggressive or not, I think that it's amazing that he has gone to bat for this country all these years, and he's still going strong at bat for this country. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. I've said for years, I don't know how he has the energy that he does, how he sleeps a few hours a night and he does it, but he does love this country. You don't have to agree with every single thing he does, but the difference is Trump just doesn't shut you down. Trump will listen to you. Trump wants to, like Vladimir Putin said today, we wouldn't have had World War III or the start of any wars with Trump. For 4 years, we didn't, because Trump didn't want to start World War III. Trump wants peace. And for Vladimir Putin to say that was pretty amazing to me and pretty powerful. It gave me a lot of respect. The other things that came out here, Fauci, Mr. Fauci. Last night, Trump eliminated his $15 million security detail. He also eliminated John Bolton's security detail. And people are like, oh, that's terrible. What are you doing that? And Trump said today from North Carolina, hey, just because you served in the government doesn't mean you get security detail and all the benefits of it forever. That he said, he said Fauci made a lot of money. Fauci can hire his own security. And I thought that was, hey, that's the truth. What is he supposed to do? Just allow that? He's cut a lot of people off, people that betrayed him, people that betrayed the country, not just him, the country, you and me. And I like that he's standing up to that. And yes, I think he should be in jail. We'll have to wait and see what happens, because I know that there's a lot of people, including myself, that were upset because Biden pardoned his whole family. He didn't pardon himself, but he pardoned his whole family. A lot of people from 2014, and people are like, why is he pardoning people that don't have anything against them now, right? But the thing is, once you pardon somebody, they lose they lose the Third Amendment, where they don't have to speak. They can bring them into court and they have to say what they know. They can have them testify in court against things and people. And if they don't, they can get in big trouble. So there's still a way around that. But you have to admit, you guys, 4 days in, there's been so much stuff flinging all over the place. It really is hard to keep up, but it's been very thrilling and exciting. The J6ers, how about that? Did you guys see how when the J6ers got out, the first thing they sang was God Bless America? And then one of the J6ers, I forget who it was, went to DC, and they were having problems in DC, not releasing them. They did release some. But the latest on that, what I can tell you is Jake Lang, one of the J6ers, put out recently, I think it was today, a plea to Elon Musk, because Elon Musk said, if anybody's having trouble getting out, any J6ers, let me know and we're going to work on it. So Jake Lang on X put a post out that there's 3 people still in DC that haven't been let out. There's 6 people in Kentucky. There's somebody in Tennessee, somebody in California, and somebody in Canada that are not out yet. So he put pictures of them, and he's trying to get that shared. It was at 12:50 p.m. today, this afternoon, that he put out that. So there are still some J6ers that are still being held for whatever reasons. So he put a plea to Elon. So as much as you may not agree with Elon and his technology and AI and what he's doing, he is trying to help with the J6ers. He is going to have an office in the White House along with the other people for the administration group that is together with a few other people. He's not going to be in the West Wing because, of course, the reporter said, is he going to be in the West Wing? Because everybody cracks up thinking that Trump adopted Elon and Elon's been living at Mar-a-Lago. Listen, they're getting stuff done, you guys. All jokes aside, these people are working hard. The staff members that we don't even really know all their names that are inside the White House, that are in the Oval Office, that shuffle the papers, prepare the papers. We have to give them credit and kudos, because I know Trump has been working on this for 4 years. He said he was going to hit the pavement running day one, and he has. But it's the people behind the scenes that support him, that help ensure that it runs smoothly and gets the job done. So we have to give those people credit, say prayers for them, because they are working so hard. Let me see, by accepting a pardon isn't admitting to a guilt of crime. Yes. So that's what the people were saying. Like, why would you pardon somebody in your family that hasn't done anything of yet? Like, what? That just doesn't make any sense. So I'm just excited to see what's going to come down the pipeline, you guys, to see what is going to happen. I know that Trump mean tweets are back, so-called mean tweets. I know that Adam Schiff was supposed to go to North Carolina today, and Trump said he wasn't thrilled about it, but he would allow him to be on the plane if he wanted to go, and he didn't end up going. But then, in true Trump fashion, he said, "Have you seen Schiff lately?" He goes, "What happened to the guy? He looks like he got hit with a baseball bat." Now, listen, I know that he's the president of the United States, but he is still Donald J. Trump. He's still going to be Donald J. Trump. And if he wasn't the way he was, he's so entertaining and he gets stuff done. And somebody said to him, like, "How do you do this? Like, do you think about it a lot and this and that?" And he goes, "No, I'll tell you, I just like to get stuff done. I like to solve problems." And he goes, "Once I put my mind to it, I don't stop until it's solved. I just like to get stuff done. I like to get the job done." And I thought that was pretty cool too. I thought that his answer was good. Now, he's still going to have and say things that are off the wall, off the cuff, or the frustration that he says, like, "Adam looks like he got hit by a bat." That's who he is. It is what it is. I always say, do you want somebody to be truthful and somebody to be who they are? Or do you want the pretty little package? They say the right things, but they don't do the right things. And that was a big thing I noticed when I went out door knocking for the election this year and different meetings, and I went to different groups, and I really wanted to educate myself in this process to see how it works behind the scenes or indirectly, to meet people in my area and around this county that I'm in, and to see what the feeling is. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that love Trump that wouldn't have signs in the yard because they didn't want repercussions for that. That's wrong to feel that way in this country. They had fear of losing their jobs. A lot of them were teachers. So there shouldn't be hiding like that. That really broke my heart. And I thought that's terrible. But the good news is they went out and they voted for Trump. We shouldn't live in a country like that. We've lost how to converse. We've lost how to communicate. We went on through a culture of wanting to be eliminated, or people wanting to eliminate you because you don't think their way, or you aren't all embracing, all accepting. I know that Trump also put out a policy, and he said, "Our policy is there's two genders, there's male and there's female. That's it." He's signed an EO to take men out of women's sports. There's been just a lot going on, and it's been very good and positive, I think. For people to hate on him as much as they have, like I said, you're never going to be 100% happy with all the choices a person makes. But you look, all in all, everything that he has done has been for this country, for the people. He signed the EO about no tax on tips. There's an EO that he may be coming out about Social Security and stuff. There's things that he is still working on and trying to get figured out. And the point is, every direction that he's taking is to benefit you and I, we the American people. When that's the other thing. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I watched his speech in Davos, because he didn't go to Davos. He was going to, but it was important to him to stay here so he could visit North Carolina, the people in North Carolina and LA today, instead of going to Davos. But his speech is on there. It's like a 16 minute speech. And he called those people out to their faces. And I thought, that is brave. That is ballsy. It's gutsy. He doesn't care. He's like tired of America being stepped on. When he has the numbers about how much Canada absorbs from us, and that's why he wants Canada. He said it'll benefit them to become the 51st state, is because if we are subsidizing them, why don't they just become a state? Why should we be paying all this money so they can stay independent to them and we never get money back? How can you be against the United States of America getting money back that's owed to them? With the whole Panama situation, people are like, "Oh, he's a dictator. He wants to gain all this stuff." Panama is true. If Carter sold Panama for $1 and then Panama sold it to China, that's not what was supposed to happen. It shouldn't have been sold in the first place. He said we lost 43,000 people from malaria or something from mosquitoes. And we lost people, hard-working people, building that Panama Canal. It's an insult for a president, Carter, to sell it for $1 back. He should have never done that. And he's standing up for people, whether you like the way he does it or not. He's doing it and he gets the job done. So that's what it is about that. And Panama is a big deal because that is a lot of traffic, shipping traffic and stuff. And if China owns that, China's making a lot of money from the people that are using it, us, when we shouldn't be having to pay it. We shouldn't be having to do that. So that's what that's about. And then the Gulf of Mexico, meaning the Gulf of America, there's a theory about that too, because if you name it that, there's things that you can do because it isn't the Gulf of Mexico, it's the Gulf of America. So, like I said, we have to make sure that we just don't read a headline and we run with our opinions over it. Information is powerful, knowledge is power, and just watching him do what he's doing and all the people doing what they're doing has been amazing. And to have cash and get all these people in there. I know Pete Hegseth was supposed to, I think that's getting voted on today. I don't know if he made it or not. I'm not sure. I thought I saw that he did. I mean, he's a military guy. It's great. He got rid of Mark Milley already. Remember Mark Milley? Nobody liked him. There's just been a lot of good change. And I just wanted to come on today and briefly go over some of the things that I've noticed, the optimism that I have. And I say that I think that, are we in the clear? No. Is there a lot of work that needs to be done? Absolutely. The housing market is the worst that it's been, the weakest it's been in nearly 30 years. That's going to take a while to improve. Inflation, all that stuff is going to take a while. And there's going to be critics out there that say, see, Trump can't do it. Trump didn't do it. Trump promised to do it and he didn't. But that's not true. It's going to take a little while. But the difference is now I have faith and confidence in the president and his administration, these younger people that are in there, in it to win it for us and the generations to come. And I'm very optimistic and I'm very hopeful. I do want to find out what the drones are. I do want to find out what the heck is going on with the alien situation, whatever that may be. And I'm hoping that Trump will do that. The other thing, the JFK files, he's released those JFK files now. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, Tony. The JFK files, they have up to 15 days to come up with a plan to release those files. People are mad because they haven't released them yet. Well, and if you read, you can go to whitehouse.gov. That's the last thing before I go, I want to tell you. Go to whitehouse.gov and it'll show you all the different things that are going on and all the details to it. They have 15 days to come up with a plan to release them and what they're going to release. Hopefully it's everything. I've seen a couple videos that have already floated around that have surfaced that supposedly were buried for years. But you can go there and see it. And then I think it's up to 45 days before it is the other stuff that he said released, which was Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and one other thing. Oh, I forget what it was. Anyways, there's 45 days for that. So the JFK, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up with my parents and all the adults always wondering what happened with that and having theories about that. I know that you guys have seen the documentaries made on that. Finding out who did what when is going to heal this country in more ways than it's going to hurt this country. And Mike Pompeo, is the one that advised Trump not to release them last time around. But Mike Pompeo apparently is not a good guy. He's not on the up and up. He's not pro us. So this time around, Trump just, day 2, I think it was, or day 3, just did it. He signed it. It's out there. So that should be coming anytime now. I've been keeping an eye out for that. I do want to find the answers to that. And, I say it's going to be healing because the truth may hurt, the truth may stink, but once we know the truth, we are always healed by the truth. And we'll understand more maybe why Trump has done the thing that he's done in the ways that he's done, because he knows a lot more than we do. And I don't know that we're going to be so happy with some of these answers, and it's not going to establish us having faith in our government. I think it's going to help us understand why Trump wants to eliminate so much of it. There's been so many departments, agencies, three-letter agencies that they want to eliminate or downsize. I know that he put out an EO as well, that all the federal agents have to come in and show up for work in person. No more of this working from home. And there's other people that he said, you come in and you're either going to be fired or you're going to work the border. You're not just going to stay at home and do whatever you need to do just from home. So a lot of good things moving. Oh, yeah, the Watergate documents. That would be pretty cool to see, too. Yeah. And how backwards is that? Nixon was made out to be a very bad guy. They mocked him. But when we look at the depths of what our governments and the people tied to our governments have gotten away with and what they've done, the corruption and the depth of it and the selfishness of it, to me, I'd rather break it all apart and start all over again. And it's for our kids and for our next generations to come. We can't leave this country in the shape that it's in. We can't leave them to think that being white and having your own thoughts is a bad thing, that being who you are is a bad thing, that you need to cave to whatever culture is popular at the moment. The truth is the truth. And whether it makes people comfortable or not, doesn't matter, because you know what? The people who have nothing to hide will be okay with the truth. The only people that don't want the truth to come out are the people that have something to hide, money they've gained over the years that they're afraid of losing, going to jail. The last little thing, I know I said the whitehouse.gov was the last thing, but I forgot about this too. If you haven't seen Catherine Heritage, the reporter, short hair, she's the one that was calling out Hunter Biden for years. She is actually at Gitmo. And she is doing a series of her being at Gitmo because there's 9/11 trials going on. Now, I thought all that was over and done with. There's only supposedly 15 people left there regarding that. But she said it was supposed to be shut down. Remember, I think Obama and them wanted to shut it down, but it never got shut down. And not only that, there's a lot of building going on. There's a big, massive courtroom being built, she said. She sold all these housing units to house these individuals that I think it was $11 million it cost a few years ago when they were built. And she said they haven't been used yet. So she said as much as she has seen and as much as she's seeing, there's still a lot that's hidden and secret and quiet, because she said that there's stuff that obviously you can't see and you can't know. But if you are on X or you find her on a different platform, you can catch the different videos of her being at Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay there, and she's doing a series on that and reporting from there. I find that timing ironic too, don't you? There's been a lot of talk about Gitmo and stuff. But she's there reporting now. So anyways, that's what I have for you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Last minute, spontaneous. I'm glad to see many of you that I got to see. I am back. I'm going to come back Monday. This is Friday. I'm going to come back Monday. I have a devotion made up, a 4-day devotion I want to do. And I'll probably do news here and there as well. Again, I've got my fire back. I think that there's a lot to inform people about, and that whole sense of just being a community again and not being censored, you guys, not being censored. So hopefully that's true, and I don't get taken down for the things that I said because supposedly it's free speech now. You saw that Bezos, you saw that Zuckerberg were at the inauguration at all these parties, and they're all sucking up to Trump now and saying their I'm sorries for the censorship that they did, and the whole fact checkers are gone and all that stuff. So hey, let's just keep our fingers crossed, hope for this country. So take care. Have a wonderful, beautiful weekend, you guys. And I will see those of you who can join me on Monday for a new devotion starting up. So take care. God bless. Once again, thank you so much for joining me again. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey now, don't be shy. Follow my lead if you want to be mine.